Hello, my name is Jasmine Blake. This week's assignment is speech based on learning and memory. Memory is the staff of the mind by which information or data is encoded, put away, and recovered when required. It is the maintenance of data over the long haul to impact future activity. The three fundamental cycles engaged with human memory are accordingly encoding, stockpiling, and recovery. Moreover, the process of memory solidification can be viewed as one or the other piece of the encoding cycle or the capacity cycle. This is treated here as a different cycle. Question number 1. What are the structures and processes involved and how do they interact to reduce memory? Numerous researchers accept that the whole cerebrum is associated with memory. Anyway, some others have contended that memory is situated in explicit pieces of the mind. Specific neurons can be perceived for the current circumstance and frame of recollections. The mind's principal parts engaged with memory are the amygdala, the hippocampus, the cerebellum, and the prefrontal cortex. The limbic framework speaks to a bunch of cerebrum structures situated on the two sides of the thalamus, promptly underneath the cerebral cortex, and is significant for an assortment of capacities, including feeling, inspiration, long-haul memory, and olfaction. The hippocampus, a structure found profound inside the cerebrum, has been viewed as a center point for memory for quite some time. The hippocampus helps stick portions of the memory together, the where with the when, by guaranteeing that neurons fire together. This is frequently alluded to as neural synchronization, at the point when the neurons that code for the where synchronize with the neurons that code for the when. These subtleties become related through a marvel known as Hebbian learning. However, the hippocampus is too little even to consider the storing every single data of memory. This has led specialists to estimate that the hippocampus calls upon the neocortex, an area that measures complex tangible subtleties such as sound and sight, to help fill the subtleties of a memory. The neocortex does this by doing the specific inverse of what the hippocampus does. It guarantees that neurons don't fire together. This is regularly alluded to as neural desynchronization. Envision approaching a crowd of people of 100 individuals for their names. If they synchronize their action, that is, they all shout out simultaneously, you're likely not to get anything. However, on the off chance that they desynchronize their reaction, that is, they alternate talking their names, you're likely going to accumulate significantly more data from them. The equivalent is valid for neocortical neurons. On the off chance that they synchronize, they battle to convey their idea. However, if they desynchronize, the data runs over without any problems. Question number 2. Is the cortical sensory or subcortical process, and what can we say about environmental influence in the development of memory or the learning process? Memory is a perplexing cycle containing cortical, subcortical, and tangible processes. Instruction is an urgent part of your life, a fundamental right and an essential piece of your childhood, schooling, and learning permit to psych, to create and advance. The length of training affects memory, cerebrum work, and intelligent execution. The length of instruction significantly affects memory, maintenance, and the later long periods of life. Ecological variables assume a part in cerebrum well-being and memory. It is judicious to fuse specific measures and changes in your everyday daily practice to help somebody have more advantageous existence and a future liberated from the dangers of wavered recollections. Question number 3. How is communication mediated on the neurological level? Neurons are nerve cells that communicate with the help of chemical and electrical signals. The electrical signals within the neurons are generated through charged particles. It will allow rapid movement from one to the next neuron. Synapses are the small spaces between the neurons where communication takes place. Presynaptic and postsynaptic are the two parts where chemical transmission occurs. The specialized chemicals, called neurotransmitters, are released from the presynaptic membrane of neurons. These neurotransmitters are absorbed by the specific protein of the postsynaptic membrane. After the attachment of the neurotransmitters with the binding receptors of the neurons, the functions will be altered. There are two different types of neurotransmitters receptors, and these are linked with the ligand-bound ions. The bonding would result in the movement of ions to the outer side of the membrane. The second receptors are the G-coupling protein receptors, and they help in the chemical signaling triggering with the cell. Neurotrophins are the steroids and peptides that influence the functioning and development of neurons in the brain. Thank you.